What's up, everybody? Ty Bartell in with another edition of Coach's Corner as Mark Komalnc from Warren JFK, the boys basketball head coach, joins me today. Coach, I guess first and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited for this season. First time in 8 years, we're going to have a full preseason. So we got to start on time with every single kid in the gym. Usually, football, soccer, it doesn't always work out that way.
They
But
borrow from you a little bit.
yeah, I mean, it's different. We'll have a full scrimmage schedule. So I'm excited for that. But interested to see how it goes because I am hammering the kids right now as far as running and getting their legs in shape. So, but I'm having fun. I don't know if they are, but I am.
On top of the fact that, you're bringing pretty much every big scorer back from last year. How are practices looking? What's jumping off the map for you right now?
Right now, their focus and intensity is really obviously we're a senior laden team. These guys have been starters for 3 years. But attention to detail. I mean, we're focusing a lot more on the half-court defense this year. That's what we started in the summer. So watching our guys do drills and seeing their focus on, proper footwork defensively and communicating, Michael Condolia, Nico Simonero, Quinn Miola, Nick Ryan, Jaden Rishwell, those guys are all right up there letting everybody know where they need to go. But also you can see in their when we're going through the drills, they're really focusing. In the past, we were running gun and we wanted to trap and force you to shoot quick so we could rebound because we were usually smaller than everybody else. And now with these guys being seniors, are a little bit bigger, more mature and more physical. So we kind of can hold our own in the half court and depend on, holding guys to one shot and not having to speed them up. So that's been the focus, and I think they enjoy that. It's a change of pace for them. They know that they can play the fast pace if we need to, but we also have to be able to defend in the half court.
Before we go further into this season, I want to take a step back and just take a look at last season too. 19 wins, if I'm not mistaken, too, for you guys. What were your takeaways as a head coach from last year that you now bring into this season?
We had a lot of growth last season. I think every year we have. From their freshman year on, this group, specifically the senior group, has grown and matured and kind of bought into different nuances that maybe the year before we didn't. And now it's about coming to fruition. The last 2 years didn't end the way they wanted to, but obviously, that makes them a little bit hungrier. I mean, 19 wins last year was nice, and they played a tough schedule, and this year's even tougher. But wins and losses in the regular season don't matter. So we came up short of our goal last year, losing to Dalton, and I know that made for a long offseason for me, but this was probably our best offseason as well. I think after winning 19 games and falling short, I think this summer we played 14 teams, won all 14. High-level competition. The difference between this year and last year is that I think that instead of just competing against good teams, they've now taken that next step and they're winning against those good teams. So 19 wins is nice, but again, at the end of the day, it's just about, are they going to improve every day? And in March, how well are we playing? And we got to play our best. In the last 2 years, we've had 2 quarters that kind of sunk us.
I know, Coach, you are definitely a coach of wanting to constantly test your guys too. And I mean, the schedule this year, you're playing Hoban again. I know you played them last year, but that's a D1 state champ. You're playing AAC champion in Campfield. What are some? I mean, those matchups alone. But I mean, look at this whole non-conference and the schedule as a whole. You got to be excited for the constant tests that you have throughout the season for your guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things. If you want to be a state level contender, which is what we've always wanted to be. We want a state title. That's what we want. And in order to be able to do that, no matter what your division is, I mean, I think that's probably the biggest thing people maybe don't realize. Division 4 might be the best, might have the best team in the state. Like,
you can only have 5 guys on the floor at one time.
Yeah, and Richmond Heights is ranked in the nation. They're pretty darn good. So we have to schedule up. I'm really excited. The kids are really excited. You got Hoban, you got Campfield, Boardman, throwing Lutheran West in there, who was Division II state runner-up, Gilmore Academy, Cardinal Mooney. We're not going to get to the games that matter unless we play teams that are going to test us. So it's not about regular season wins and losses, although this year I think the expectation is that instead of competing against those teams, we beat them. And I know people may laugh at that, but I think our kids in their heart believe that we can compete and beat those teams. And that's why we scheduled them. I mean, we got beat up by some of them last year, but we're not going to shy away. I know the Lutheran West coach Duke real well. He was at Cleveland Central before, and he said he needed a game, and he knew that we weren't going to be afraid to play him. So I said, yeah, go ahead, bring it down. Schedule is really, really important. It always has been. And this is probably our toughest schedule in 8 years. And I think it will reap the benefits of it.
I think where you're reaching to, you're going to see a little bit of every different style of basketball too in the regular season. And that's all you can really ask for, I think, too, going into that postseason. You mentioned, though, trying to get wins against these teams. What are you going to need to see from the team to be able to turn some of those games where you're competing into W's, like you said?
Well, I think in years past, when you're sophomores and juniors, you're a little intimidated. So I think that's a big part, is coming out calm and collective and not being intimidated by bigger teams. We have size, we have athleticism. They just have to believe, and it will come down to execution. I think last year against Hoban, we played some great defense. They hit shots, and we just were scattered on offense. So playing teams like that, the focus this year is going to be, can we get past that discomfort of playing a team that has, maybe better athleticism, bigger kids, more length, and not allowing that to impact our decision-making on the offensive side. Because I think if we're comfortable offensively, we're really, really good. But in those situations, sometimes we fell into some discomfort and some, uneasiness as far as our decision making, and I think that'll be the focus. And if we want to compete and beat those teams, we gotta be very, very good offensively, because if you make a mistake, they're gonna make you pay for it.
You mentioned trying new things out in practice as well. So, I mean, it leads me to this next question. Are we going to see the same type of brand from JFK basketball? Or are there going to be a little bit of shifts and changes we can expect this season from the Eagles?
I think offensively, we're still going to push the ball, but defensively, just a lot less pressing. We're going to try and just sit down and play half-court man. We'll press here or there, but it's not going to be 32 minutes of full-out press. Part of that is the realization that come tournament, you do have to sit down and play defense, and we focused on that all summer. And the only way we're going to be able to rebound in big games is if we get used to doing it in the regular season. So that was a decision I made this summer, that kind of scrap it a little bit, but we still they want to run. But pressing sometimes, when you press good teams, you get yourself in bad positions, and it's really hard to be able to rebound out of it, even though that was the philosophy, is we were smaller. So let's speed them up, give ourselves a chance to rebound. But when you're playing teams that are better and bigger, sometimes speeding them up only backfires on you. So this summer, when we went to half court, they played really, really solid in the half court. One-on-one, they're defensively, we got guys who can sit down and defend at all 5 positions. So it's going to be a little bit different, but I still think you're going to see a lot of fast-paced games, trying to get up above 70 points. We're not going to slow the ball down, but we're not going to try and pressure teams as much.
You do a great job with that program. You have great consistency with the boys, and I know all the boys just speak so highly of you in any of the interviews we've ever done with them too. So you obviously have an impact with that. But I know, and you know as well as I do, Coach, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. So yes. I want to give you that opportunity. Shout out your coaching staff, who are going to be some big names helping you out this year.
So we returned Coach Stephen Hughes, who's an assistant coach. He's been with me, I think 5 years now. Zach Tasker is our JV coach. This is his 3rd year, I believe, with us. And he also is an assistant baseball coach, so he gets to know the kids. The kids love him. The more you're around them, the better it is. You develop that, bond between kids. And Dave Smith, who was with us, went to Badger, and he's back now. He'll be a varsity assistant, and the kids love him. He has, even when he wasn't coaching with us, he was still coming to games and sitting behind the bench and cheering for the kids. Like, he's just, he loves what this program is about, and he missed it the year he was gone. He wanted to get back. And then at the junior high, we got Gabe Simpson. He helps out with varsity. He does a lot of our skill stuff. I coached him at Harding, and he's a valuable piece because our high school kids can go to him and be like, hey, Coach K's doing this. And he'll be like, hey, that's what he's going to do. This is why he's doing it. I've been there, done that. Like, I had 4 years with him. I know exactly why he's doing it. So he's very supportive, but also he sees it from a player's perspective. He's a little bit younger, and more in tune with kind of the style of what kids are expecting today.
I will just say, too, I think you've taken the cake for the best background in any of the interviews I've done so far. That JFK locker room always looking crisp, too. I love it.
Got to show it off.
Yeah, for sure. Coach, I know you're a man of the game, and I know you have a deep love for the game, and it's the love for the game. I love the game as well. It's what brings us all together each and every season. It unites us all, no doubt. Where did the love for the game start for you? Do you have a pinpoint moment? Do you have a time period where you first remember falling in love with the game of basketball?
I don't know the exact moment, but I had a half court in my backyard, and growing up in McDonald, we had the courts. So I was literally, I would be at the gym, my backyard, or the courts until I got kicked out. And I think the one thing that comes to mind when you say that is, I think the Detroit Pistons were playing in the NBA Finals, and I remember watching Joe Dumars and Vinnie Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. But I remember going out in the backyard and pretending like I was Joe Dumars hitting shots, and just didn't want to leave. Just kept replaying their game in my head, like 1-on-0, like I was at the game. And then from that, it just blossomed. I mean, I've been around the game since I was third grade, and been coaching for 24 years now. But I would say those moments of being outside, shooting until 10:30 at night until the neighbors got mad, or my mom would turn the lights out. Same with down at the courts. All of my friends I played with at McDonald, we'd be down at the courts until the police would tell us we had to leave. And we brought people from all over the place to play down there. But it was no better way to get better than playing other kids from other areas. And it was never any problem. We just went out, we had fun, we played, trash talk a little bit. But for the most part, the love grew from, probably fifth grade on. It continued to grow, and it still continues to grow today. Like, I can't say how much I love it. Like, I don't know what I would do. The only thing I could say, this is my first love, and my wife is the biggest love. So.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. And it's a running theme I've been asking all the coaches, because like I said, man, it's that love that started it, and it's the reason why we're all here today. Coach, before I let you go, I want to give a shout out to the community. I know they probably don't need any kind of sales pitch to come out to games, but why don't you give it to them, why they should come out and see this Eagles team this year?
I think this is a team they've been waiting to see. I think it's going to be really exciting. I think that, we go back to 2016-17, my first year, we were right at the cusp of going to the state Final Four. I think this is a group that, saw that as fifth and sixth graders, and they followed in those footsteps, and that's the same goal that they have. I mean, they score a lot of points. You want to watch fun basketball. We average over 70 points a game for the last 3 years, and they do it unselfishly. 19, 20 assists a game. Like, we're top in the state in those categories. So you want to watch fun basketball, come watch us. They sell themselves. We got the potential of having 3 1,000-point scorers on the floor this year. Wow. So it is pretty impressive. They sell themselves.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I know I'm going to make sure I try to make it out to at least one of your guys' games this season, either at home or on the road. I know Absolutely. You guys are going to be can't miss this season, and that goes for all of you watching as well. You guys are going to want to make sure you catch this Eagles bunch. They're going to be really fun over in Division 4. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner here in the 2023-24 season with the Warren JFK boys basketball head coach, Mark Komalnc.
Thank you, Ty.